Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Friday Night Smackdown review. And this is going to be a review of last night's edition of SmackDown, which was the December 13th edition. And sorry if I sound like this. Have a cold, head cold. So sorry if I sound like this. But tomorrow is TLC. And this was SmackDown's go-home show for TLC, which didn't get us hyped for the pay-per-view tomorrow. But this SmackDown was from the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I gotta say, this was a decent SmackDown last night. So, sorry about that, but I was saying, SmackDown was a decent show last night. It was a decent show, aside from the main event, which the main event, I didn't give a shit about. So, but overall, like I said, SmackDown was a decent show last night. So let's start the review. So SmackDown, Friday Night Smackdown opened up last night with, oh my God, how many weeks? How many weeks? Is this like 3 weeks already that WWE has put this guy out here to start the show? So the show opened up with none other than King Corbin. Yeah, King Corbin came out. Guys were helping him, were carrying him on his sedan to the ring. I'm like, WWE knows that Corbin has go-away heat. So this is WWE giving the fans what they don't want to see. That's fucking sickening. Who wants to see Corbin out there? Who wants to see Corbin every single week? I don't. You don't. So it's like every single week he's been coming out and starting the show. What is this? He's going to come out next week and start the show? Come on. We're tired of seeing Corbin open up the show. And for next week, I just want to throw this out. There possibly will not be no SmackDown review because I will be going to SmackDown next week at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So, going to do a vlog from there. So that's coming up, next week. So yeah, so Corbin came out on his sedan. Guys were carrying him out on the sedan. Security was surrounding the ring. Dolph Ziggler was in the ring, applauding Corbin. So Corbin ends up getting on the mic. The fans were booing him. Corbin ended up thanking everyone for the welcome. The crowd boos him even more. The crowd boos him because we want to see this guy go away because, of course, Corbin has, like I said, go away heat. So Corbin and Ziggler ended up joking about a smell that was making them sick. They ended up saying, oh, I'm not sure if it's the fans or all the dog food that they dumped on Roman last week. So Corbin said that he wanted to make this quick. And he just wanted to come out and talk about the incredible 2019 he's had. He goes on to mention that he defeated Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. He won the King of the Ring tournament. And that he's going to bow down, he's going to make the big dog bow down to his king tomorrow at TLC. So Corbin says after he ends up putting Roman in his place, SmackDown will be his to rule as the leader. And my God, help us all. If that, ever happens. Help us all. So Corbin ended up saying that he's seen the nonsense about Roman coming unchained to SmackDown. So Corbin and Ziggler went on talking trash about Roman. Corbin ended up saying that he has every window and door in the arena covered if Roman does decide to show up. And he says he will just be showing up to a far worse fate than how it was last week. And then the fans were chanting at Corbin, "Oh, you look stupid," which was funny. So Corbin and Ziggler, talk as security guards were in the ring. Corbin ends up saying, anyone who gets in the way of he and Ziggler will be forced to bow down. So Ziggler ends up calling on the fans to join him in hailing King Corbin. Fans were booing. And, the New Day end up coming out. They're making their way out. They got a pop from the crowd. Sorry about that, but I was saying, the New Day come out. Big E and Kofi, they made their way out. Fans popped for them. And Big E and Kofi start cracking jokes on Dolph and Corbin. Corbin ends up taking shots at Kofi for him losing the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar, which he said in 7 seconds. So Kofi ended up correcting Corbin, saying to Corbin that he didn't lose the title in 7 seconds. He lost the title in 8 seconds. So Kofi wanted to say that he still sees himself as a champion for the people. And the fans end up popping for Kofi. And Kofi ends up saying that Corbin did have a heck of a year. But he won the title at WrestleMania. And for nearly 6 months, he defended that title and beat anyone who stepped up, including Dolph Ziggler, which Dolph didn't really like that. So Kofi ends up slapping Corbin in the mouth, and the fans will chant one more time at Kofi. So Corbin ends up saying if Kofi wants to step up and be a leader like Roman, then he will get humiliated like Roman. So Corbin ends up shoving the mic at Kofi as he made his way out. But the whole segment was just, didn't care for it. Did not fucking care what was going on. So, sorry about that again. Keep getting interrupted. But then after that, we saw Corbin and Dolph. They were walking backstage. And they see a security guard knocked out that happened in front of their locker room door. So both Corbin and Ziggler walk into the locker room. They see the place is destroyed and more security guards are laid out. So that was basically that. Then we had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And this was a short match. And before the match, Kayla Braxton, she was backstage. She was interviewing Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Kayla ended up asking Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss about, what happened and how the rivalry got personal between them and Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Alexa says Mandy Rose is just a bully, but she's happy to be back in the ring and back with her best friend, Nikki Cross. So then we saw Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They attack Alexa and Nikki from behind, at the gorilla position, and they brawl out onto the stage. When all of them get out on the stage, they're still brawling. Referees come out to try to break them up. And the match got underway. And like I said, it was a very short match. Nothing great happened here. But Alexa and Nikki got the win. Nikki Cross ended up pinning a neck breaker to Sonya Deville. So there you go. Alexa and Nikki end up winning the match. All in all, short match it was. So then we saw Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, one of the best things on SmackDown, along with Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse. So Sami Zayn was walking backstage. Heavy Machinery comes up to him. They were wearing Santa Claus hats. And they mentioned that they're going to be facing Cesaro and Nakamura later on. Otis ends up picking Sami in the Secret Santa game, I guess, that they had. So Sami Zayn ends up opening a gift that Otis had wrapped up. Sami then opens the gift, and it's revealed to be a huge Christmas ham. And Sami Zayn doesn't like that. Sami says that this ham is the worst gift that he's ever received in his life. He goes on to say that he is a vegan and that this is an insult. So he goes on about how the animal lost its life. Then Otis then apologized. Sami ends up complaining to Otis. Tucker ends up saying that Otis apologized. But that's not good enough for Sami. So Cesaro and Nakamura walk up. Sami Zayn is just talking trash. Warn them about them with Cesaro and Nakamura later on. So they all walk off, Cesaro, Nakamura, and Sami Zayn. But Cesaro ends up stopping. He takes the ham. And Cesaro then just slams the ham on the ground, which pissed off Otis. I'm like to myself, wow, what a waste of ham. What a waste. Then we had the Revival versus Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. Very good tag team match. Very entertaining. Back and forth between them, the Revival, Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali, I'd say they're very entertaining as a tag team. I mean, they were just put together because, of course, WWE, they have no other guys in this in the tag team division, because the tag team division is garbage, in my opinion. Like, there's no other tag teams here. Same on both shows for SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. So, but the Revival end up getting the win. They end up hitting the Shatter Machine to Mustafa Ali. So there you go. The Revival end up winning the match. All in all, very good, fun tag team match. And the Revival, of course, going to be taking on the New Day, Big E and Kofi tomorrow for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Like, how many times have we seen the Revival and Kofi and Big E and the New Day? How many times this whole year? We've seen it enough this year with the Revival and the New Day. So Kayla Braxton was backstage. She was interviewing the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley. Bayley was only there. Sasha was not here. So she was asking about, Kayla Braxton was asking Bayley about Lacey Evans, who Lacey called out Bayley. Bayley says that she understands why some people see Lacey Evans as impressive. Bayley says she doesn't care what people think any longer, and that she's doing this for herself. And Bayley says the SmackDown Women's Championship is what it's about, and that she's a champion now. She goes on to mention about Sasha, who's not here because she's off recording a rap album. And as Bayley was going to go on about Lacey Evans, we hear a guitar sound. Of course, it's none other than Elias Borlias in the background. Elias was there with Dana Brooke. So Bayley ends up going over and yells at Elias. Elias then revealed that he picked Bayley in the Secret Santa game. So then Elias ends up singing her a song. So Elias ends up taking shots in the song at Bayley and Sasha. I remember Elias ended up saying as he was singing that, Bayley's new haircut makes her look like a man. And Dana Brooke is there just laughing. So Elias then wishes Bayley a Merry Christmas. And Bayley was like to Dana Brooke, "Oh, you think that's funny? How about you meet me in the ring when you stop laughing?" So Dana then accepts the challenge. She ends up walking off. But didn't care for this. Did not give a shit. Then we have Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Squash match. Bayley ended up winning the match. I mean, what does Dana Brooke do in the ring? She has that one move where she does the flip and the elbow. I'm like, that's a wrestling move? That's a wrestling move. So Bayley ends up winning. Moving on. So we saw Sheamus. Sheamus ended up cutting a promo. He says SmackDown has changed in his absence, becoming nothing more than a home to wimps, after previously being a home to warriors. So Sheamus ends up saying that Sheamus has returned and that he's bringing the heart back to SmackDown. So he ends up saying that he's ready to smash anyone who gets in his way. So more promo for hyping up Sheamus' return. Can't wait to see Sheamus back. It's been a while since we've seen Sheamus in the ring. Then we had Renee Young. Renee Young was interviewing The Miz at his home in LA. It was a sit-down interview. The interview was filmed earlier in the day. Renee Young ends up asking Miz if Miz has an update on Daniel Bryan's status. Miz ends up saying the last time he saw Daniel Bryan, he was being pulled under the ring by the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So Renee ends up bringing up the bad history between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Shows a clip from Talking Smack back in 2016 where The Miz ended up cutting that really great, speaking his mind to Daniel Bryan, where Daniel Bryan just had short hair and, no beard. So no long beard. A lot of you might remember that segment on Talking Smack back in 2016, which made The Miz, a star in that year, or big in that year, just because of that segment that he cut it with Daniel Bryan. So Renee asks why Miz had a change of heart. Miz ended up going on to say that he doesn't have the perfect answer, but they both bring out the best and the worst in each other. So The Miz went on to say that he knows how much Daniel Bryan means to SmackDown. Says, and as weird as it is to say, it's finally time for him to do the right thing. So Renee Young asks about Bray Wyatt and what happened last week. The Miz ended up saying that Bray Wyatt loves to play mind games. And he gets that because he's played them his whole career. He ends up saying that Bray Wyatt crossed the line that you don't cross. So The Miz ended up saying that he's a changed man too these days. He's a father. He says there's something that happens when you first hold your daughter in your hands. He says he's the father to 2 daughters. That's why he's in LA and not in Milwaukee. Miz ended up going on to say that family is the most important thing to him, and he's not sure what Bray Wyatt is capable of. So then Renee Young, I forgot to mention, Renee Young was wearing a hoop earring in her nose. Thought looked pretty cool on her. So Renee Young ended up asking if Miz is afraid for Sunday's match at TLC. Then we hear Maurice yelling for, the Miz in their house. She has the baby monitor on the iPad. And the camera was on their daughter, Monroe Sky's crib. Bray Wyatt then appeared on the screen, ends up laughing. He ends up wanting to be let in. So the camera ended up cutting back to Monroe in the crib. And we see, the Funhouse puppets in the crib. Like we saw Huskus the Pig. Think, Abby the Witch. So then the Miz and Maurice rush up to Monroe's room, and Bray Wyatt isn't there. And Monroe is, scared there. She, is, screaming, whining, and the Miz ends up finding one of her dolls in the crib. And the doll in the crib was a painted face. There was a painted face on the doll that looked like the Fiend. It had the Fiend's face on it. The doll had the Fiend's face and dreadlock hair. So the Miz ended up telling the camera crew, "We're done here." So Maurice starts yelling at the camera crew to get out, and that was basically how the sit-down interview with the Miz ended. But really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed this whole segment interview with the Miz, and Bray Wyatt, was playing the mind games. The doll looked really creepy, with the Fiend's face on it. Then we saw Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse. It appeared on the Titantron. Bray Wyatt ended up having the doll that was in Monroe's crib with him. The doll that looked like the Fiend, and the dreadlocks, and the hair. And Bray Wyatt says he was just trying to be nice. After all, it's the holiday season, that's what Bray Wyatt said. Bray Wyatt said that he knows how much The Miz loves his family, which is what makes this hard. And Bray Wyatt learned that a while ago that no one likes snitches, and that snitches get stitches. So Bray Wyatt ends up saying that The Miz was so wrapped up in what happened to Daniel Bryan that he exposed himself. So Bray Wyatt ends up thinking Daniel Bryan is still with him. But Miz is with Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt went on to say that he could teach The Miz how not to love. He just has to let him in. And then he starts praising the Marine 5, saying that it was fire. And that's how, the Firefly Funhouse ended. So, but really liked it. Like I said, Bray Wyatt at the Firefly Funhouse, best part of SmackDown, best part of WWE television. So, and I am interested in seeing the match tomorrow night with The Miz and Bray Wyatt. I'd like to see that, the intro that they give for Bray Wyatt before the match tomorrow. How they're going to do this, because, The Fiend is not competing, because The Fiend is dealing with Daniel Bryan. So, but really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the this little Firefly Funhouse segment. So then we see Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. They were getting stressed out over Roman, about Roman possibly showing up. So then we had the match, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Heavy Machinery. This was a very fun match. Back and forth between them all. Really enjoyed Heavy Machinery here. I'm a fan of Heavy Machinery. Cesaro did a good job in this match. Cesaro was very entertaining. Nakamura, Michael Cole on commentary, he kept on calling Shinsuke Shin. I'm like, yeah, you calling Shin with the Shin like this right here? Like, Michael Cole. Call him Nakamura or Shinsuke, not Shin. So, but Cesaro and Nakamura got the win. Nakamura ended up hitting the Kinshasa to Tucker Knight. So Cesaro and Nakamura end up winning the match. But overall, it was a very fun match between them. Very fun match. And then next was the main event, which I did not give a shit about. 2 disqualifications here. Kofi Kingston versus King Corbin. Match ended in a no contest because they were brawling on the outside. Kofi, Corbin, Dolph, Big E. Match ended in no contest. Did not give a shit. Big E got on the mic, and he said that if Dolph and Corbin want to fight, they got to fight right now. So it went from a one-on-one to a tag team match. And then this match also ended in a no contest. But Dolph was getting involved here. He ended up hanging on to Kofi's leg. And the referee ended up throwing Dolph from ringside. So, and then Dolph came back, started beating up on Big E. That's what led to the no contest for Kofi and Corbin. And that got turned into a tag team match. Like I said, which that got a no contest, which is retarded. So Dolph ended up retrieving handcuffs from under the ring. They end up handcuffing Kofi just like they did to Roman last week. Once again, WWE, rinse and repeat. We just saw this last week with Roman. They had to do this again this week. Only it wasn't Roman. It was Kofi. WWE likes to rinse and repeat. They like to copy and paste from last week's script to this week. It's just lazy creativity. Lazy creativity from the WWE creative team. So Kofi is hanging from the ring post just like Roman was last week. How original. How fucking original. We just seen this last week. Only it was Roman. So Corbin ends up taking his sector, and he hits it at Kofi. Corbin then retreats dog food from under the ring. What a coincidence! Did we just see this last week? Yes, we did. Copy and paste. Copy and paste with WWE. Rinse and repeat. Corbin retreated dog food from under the ring. The Revival came out of nowhere. They delivered a Shatter Machine to Big E on the outside. Then Roman Reigns ended up coming out. And of course we heard Michael Cole go, "Here comes the big dog." So Roman ends up taking out the security, ends up taking out the Revival. Roman is at ringside, takes Corbin's sector, and Dolph ends up kicking Roman out of nowhere with a super kick, which Michael Cole almost called the Superman punch, but he stopped right there and called it a super kick. I'm like, yeah, Michael Cole, the kick is a Superman kick. God damn. So the Revival and Dolph toss Roman onto the announce table. Dolph ends up getting the ladder, stands, a ladder up, ends up climbing the ladder. Big E ends up dropping the Revival. Roman meets Dolph at the top of the ladder. Then we see Roman choke slams Dolph from the ladder. Dolph goes through the announce table. Fans really like that. Fans popped. Roman ended up going into the ring. His music hit. He ends up freeing Kofi from the chains that were on the ring post from the handcuffs. And Roman ended up standing tall. Fans cheered him on. Corbin looks on, shocked, from the stage, from the ramp. Corbin's talking trash back to Roman in the ring. And that was how SmackDown ended last night. But this whole main event, like I said, did not give a shit about anything that was going on in this main event. Both matches got no contests. So, what was the point? What was the fucking point? But overall, it was a decent SmackDown. Aside from the main event. But yes, anyways, that's it for my review of last night's SmackDown. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. And like I said, sorry, I have a head cold, so you see me blowing my nose here in the video. I'm sorry. Just how it is. Wasn't expecting this cold. So, but thank you all for watching. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Like I said, there will be no SmackDown review next week because I will be at SmackDown next week at the Barclays Center. And haven't bought the tickets yet. I'm still waiting on one of my friends, see if he gets a approval. His boss gives him approval so he can take off of work and go with us. I'm going with three other of my friends. So, and next week is the final SmackDown of 2019. So, but well, no, not the final SmackDown of 2019. What I was saying though, but yeah, that's the cold getting to me. So the head cold getting to me. So, but anyways, yeah. So thank you all for watching, and until next video, which will possibly be the TLC review. So until that video, I'll see you all later.